3 on Fox 40. A crime is committed. The woman knows who did it. Her credit cards were stolen. All the information is turned over to police, including videotape surveillance. So you would think this is a slam dunk, but still, it's 5 weeks and no arrest. I take a look into what's taking justice so long. Crime can happen to anyone.
We're having visitors at work that day. I saw him standing near my purse.
Little did she know her driver's license, ATM, and credit cards would be stolen. It wasn't luck, but diligence that our victim caught the crime just hours after it happened.
I check my credit card and ATM statements every single day online. At about 6 o'clock, I did my ritual of checking online. I noticed immediately on my ATM that there were about 4 charges that were not mine.
And there were more charges on her credit cards.
Went immediately to my actual purse, and that's when I saw that my cards were gone.
She reported the theft to West Sacramento police the day it happened, February 4th. 2 days later, she went to work. See, all of the charges were made at West Sacramento stores, like the Walgreens on West Capitol and Ebony Hair Supply. Both had surveillance video, and she knew who it was.
Not the actual person who had stolen the cards, but someone related. I saw that person coming up to the register, pulling out my card, and signing my name.
That was also turned over to police, practically handing them a solved case.
I assumed that this would go immediately to a detective, expected an arrest.
5 weeks later, that hasn't happened.
I thought, this is a slam dunk.
We called West Sacramento Police and the Yolo County District Attorney's Office to find out what was taking so long. But because the case is ongoing, they couldn't comment. However, former Shasta County District Attorney McGregor Scott says the time frame is reasonable, and if it seems long, blame TV.
What we often referred to in my DA days was the CSI effect. A crime is committed, a crime gets solved, a crime gets charged, and someone gets convicted in the space of 1 hour.
The jury finds the defendant guilty.
That's just not the real world.
And for a DA to actually issue an arrest warrant, certain standards have to be met.
A reasonable belief that you can prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt to a unanimous jury.
That proof comes from police detectives who collect and verify evidence and talk to witnesses and suspects. Thanks to budget cuts, one detective may have to do that for over 30 cases. Then there's another roadblock. Former Sac County Sheriff John McGinnis knows it well.
It's triage, just like in an emergency room. Somebody comes into an ER on a busy night with non-life-threatening injuries, they're going to be uncomfortable for a while.
And if you look at the crime map for West Sacramento in the last 5 weeks, a lot has happened. Thefts and larceny make up the biggest chunk, which is where our victim falls. And keep in mind, these are all new cases and don't include previous crimes. Still, that doesn't change the fact our victim could be a victim for the rest of her life.
They still have my identification. I don't know if that's going to be sold to somebody else. I don't know if that's going to be used to open online checking accounts.
So the question is the legal process too long?
The concept of do more with less has been around for a while, and frankly, I think realistically at some point the notion has to be accepted.
I do the right things. I pay my taxes. I follow the laws. I work. I've always thought that if something bad happened to me, that someone would immediately come to my rescue.
So what can you do if you happen to have your credit card stolen? Well, of course, we had mentioned this earlier. You can put out a fraud alert by reporting the fraud to any of the 3 credit agencies like Experian or Equifax, but just keep in mind that that expires after 3 months. Paul and Bethany.
Yeah, great report there, Sabrina. And when we hear the early details of the story, it's easy to say, well, the cops aren't doing anything. Yeah. And to understand the red tape that's involved, the legal requirements, and the fact that departments are understaffed. It's
and these things just do take longer. I mean, it was interesting to hear him talking about it. It's that hour-long effect. You watch a TV show and a crime gets committed, and then justice is solved within the course of an hour.
And some shows are 5.5 hours long. Coming up, Fuel.